Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya-madhyamam Asmadacharya-paryantam Vande Guru-paramparam Vande Guru-paramparam. We are looking at we saw last week this 14th verse. We are in Katha Upanishad, in the second part, first chapter. Yathodakam durge vrishtam parvateshu vidhavati evam dharman prudhak pashyan tanevano vidhavati. Just as the water, when it is falling at a height, then just like in the mountains, then it starts flowing in different directions. In the same way, when the individual looks at the consciousness as a different individual consciousnesses, just as he sees that one water as different streams, as different drops, different waves, etc., etc. And in this way, he becomes the individual, he becomes available to the variety. Where there is only one, he starts seeing many. Why? He is obsessed with the name and form. This is the phenomena. There is no why. It's going on. Question is, are we ready to get out of this phenomena? Are we ready to see the phenomena for what it is? Or are we going to complain about it? Are we going to justify about it? Are we going to, why other masters are realized and I am not realized? Why I have to do this? How I have to do that? I am already that. Then why I have to do something? All this is all humbug. All this language, all this seeking, it requires, it must lead to transformation. The fact that we are studying, that we are listening, that we are speaking, that there is a satsang going on, look at it. There are two ways of looking at it. One is you look at it as an opportunity to transform yourself. This opportunity to transform yourself will be taken only when you recognize that you are not there yet. You understand everything, but you are not there yet. You are convinced, but you are not there yet. This statement itself is a problem, that you are not there yet, because you are already, but you are thinking that you are not there. Now, what can you do if mind is thinking like this? And as long as this type of thinking continues, that I am not there yet, till then sadhana must go on. Till then purification must go on. Till then satsang must go on. And what is the second option? Second option is, this is all a game of the divine, divine playing with the divine. Then why do I have to do anything? Because he is willing. If he's not willing, don't do. If he's willing, do it. Or let it happen. Oh, I'm not, wrong words, usage. Do it. No, let it happen. You have no axe to grind. You get out of the way. If you don't know how to get out of the way, then you practice, then you purify. And here, through metaphors, these examples are given. The first example is that just as we see the water from the sky when it falls on the mountain, on the high ground, instead of going in one stream, it is becoming many streams. It splashes around into multiple streams, but it's the same water. But is each stream same? No. Why the stream is not same? Because the ground is not the same. Even though it is same, but the shape, the contours are different. Your attention is on the contours in which the water is flowing. Exactly the same way, consciousness is one. Our attention is on the contours, on the form through which the consciousness is expressing, and we make what you call, make a disposition or within us that there are many consciousnesses, there are many people, there are many lives. Just as in the dream. And if you are tired of all this listening, one can get tired, no doubt about it. Then take a break. Go and sit in silence. Go and press feet of some Mahatma. See? This tiredness comes, why? Surrender is not there, that's why. Knowledge and devotion, they go hand in hand. Intellect and the mind, devotion in the mind, surrender in the mind, logic in the intellect, when both of them match each other, both of them are growing together, both of them are reaching their peak at the same time. This is the way it is explained. In the devotion, when the knowledge doesn't take place, we keep the Lord separate and keep crying. I did so much sadhana for the Lord for last 20, 30, 40 years, but still He has not given me darshan. And those who think they are intelligent, oh, I have studied this scripture, I studied that scripture, I am convinced, then why am I not realizing? Instead of asking these questions, why? Have a positive approach. Why don't you think that the Lord has brought you, the infinite has, if He is playing with Himself, He has brought you till where you are at this moment? It's not happened by fluke. And if there is an obstacle coming, if there is a frustration coming, there's only one reason. You are not ready to be open. The mind is still holding on to something. The mind is still stuck somewhere in the world. Not ready to let go of that. And that leads to frustration. Conviction is there, but purification is not there. Purification is not there only because mind is stuck somewhere. Thought fixation, phobias, attachments, obsessions, lust for the world, somewhere. And if you don't know what it is, don't worry. Shishyasteham shadhi mam tvam prapannam. Shishya and prapanna. Be a student, be ready to change, keep purifying. And Sharanyam, shadhi mam tvam prapannam, be ready to surrender at the same time. When one develops these two wings, then a person is ready to soar. Then the seeker is ready to transcend. That transcendence happens, but we have to develop both the wings. You cannot be limp in one and strong in the other. No, both have to be there. And when this imbalance is there, that's when the frustration, irritation comes about in our life. Therefore, these metaphors are given. Yathodakam durge vrishtam parvateshu vidhavati. Instead of continuing to see the differences, eyes are there, they will see differences. Ears are there, they will hear different words. You cannot stop it from happening. Body is there, you will see different parts, hands, legs, head, back, front, elbow, shoulder. You cannot escape from it. But do you, in spite of the differences in the body, do you see it as one body? Yes, sir. In spite of seeing the different forms in the creation, do you see that one consciousness which is expressing? No, sir. So correct your vision. Who is going to correct your vision? You are going to keep waiting for God to come and correct it. If that is your path, then do it. Don't complain. But if you are here, that path is not here. This is Upanishad. This is the Acme. We are not begging anyone to bless us. We are reclaiming who we essentially are. That's the power of the Upanishad. Reclaiming, reclamation. By understanding. See, that no doubt is left. Evan dharman pradhak pashyans tane vanu vidhavati. We saw this verse last week. Now another metaphor is taken. यस्य पुनर्विद्यावतो विध्वस्त उपाधिकृत भेद दर्शनस्य विशुद्ध विज्ञान घन एकरस रसम अद्वयमात्मानं पश्यतः विजानतः मुनेः मननशीलस्य आत्मस्वरूपं कथं संभवति इति उच्यते. So previously it was told in the last line of the previous bhashya, Sharira bhedam eva pruthak punah punah pratipadyata iti arthaha. The one who insists on seeing the differences, this insistence in Sanskrit is called duragraha. This is the worst. Graha are the planets. Oh, today it is Capricorn, today it is this zodiac, that planet, this planet. Which is the worst planet? Duragraha. Duragraha is which planet? The planet of insistence. So the one who insists on seeing variety, establishing variety, accepting variety as the reality, such a person goes from body to body to body to body after death. So beware. Now you know, you got the information. Upanishad is saying. Now instead of saying how Upanishad is wrong, you change your thinking to see where am I going wrong, why my vision is not like this, why am I not seeing the oneness, where is the error in my approach. It's got nothing to do with comparison with others. Where is the error in my approach? If everything is one, why am I seeing the differences? What is that conviction? Subtle, gross, subconscious? What is that conviction which is propagating this variety and acceptance of this variety? I need to undo that. And the only way to undo it is you contemplate on the consciousness, even if you don't know it, even if you have not realized it. Because you feel you are not realized. Scriptures are saying you are already. So shift your attention towards the consciousness, towards the truth, and allow the transformation to happen. So towards yasya punar vidyavataha vidvastaha upadhikruta bheda darshanasya, that intelligent, those intelligent beings whose vision of differences has been destroyed, has been removed. They have transcended that vision of differences and variety. And what else? Bheda darshanasya vishuddha vijnana ghana ekarasam advayam atmanam pashyataha. And they are continuously pashyataha, seeing what? They are seeing, your seeing will be the vision or the attention on what? On that vishuddha, that ever pure vijnana ghana, that homogeneous mass of knowledge / consciousness, eka rasa, which is continuous without any break, advaya, one without a second. And what is that? Atmanam, that self which I am. My nature is that. So if my nature is that, then why am I seeing differences? Something wrong somewhere. Some wrong obsession somewhere. Some wrong insistence somewhere. Correct yourself. How do you correct it? Through karma yoga, to purify, to bhakti yoga, to become focused. With that focus, only then Upanishads come into your life. If they are creating havoc in your mind, leave them. Go back to karma yoga. Because it's not a cup of tea for everyone. It's not a cup of tea for everyone. This difficulty only comes because we have not assessed the world correctly in our life, that it has got zero value. Until a student to come to Upanishads must have come to this conclusion in his life that possessions and relations have zero value. That this world of variety, as I see it at this moment as an individual, is only phenomenal. And I cannot run after the phenomena to satisfy myself, to be contented. Then where do I go? I don't know. I have to go somewhere. I don't know where to go. Even if you, this stage, that I cannot run after the world because I have realized that I cannot catch it, but I don't have a goal. This is called pratyahar. We don't know where to go. Then either jap comes, a teacher comes, the scripture comes. No, go to wherever it is taking you. Go with full zest, with full inspiration, with full positivity, with full dedication, and live up to the words that the scriptures or the teacher or the Lord's name is representing. See? Therefore, Upanishads is not for everyone. We saw in Bhagavad Gita how Jnaneshwar Maharaj is giving so many examples that Gita should be taught only to those who are qualified. And what is the qualification? Love, dedication, commit, all the qualities that I just said. If that quality is there, you are qualified. Only one click is required, that's all. Even a person who's wanting to learn to swim, when he jumps into the water, he drinks a lot of water. But he doesn't complain, he keeps jumping, he wants to learn. No, I'm not going to get wet, I'm not going to let the dirty water go into my mouth and nose and into my stomach. And I will not jump into the water, but I want to learn swimming. Don't want to get into the water, but I want to learn swimming. This is the frustration. You have to jump. You have to inadvertently drink the water. But in that attempt of moving your hands, legs somewhere, suddenly it clicks. And now you are able to float. Exactly the same way. Here the teacher, Yamaraj, the Lord of Death, is saying, those intelligent people who have gone beyond, those who have transcended the vision of differences on the basis of equipment, and those who are established in the pure homogeneous mass of consciousness, knowledge, continuous knowledge, which is non-dual and is the Atma itself, the self itself, pashyataha, vijanataha. Vijanataha munehe mananashilasya atmaswarupam katham sambhavati iti uchyate. And he continuously only sees the self, the Atma, and that visionary seeker, that visionary sage, how should I say, manana vijanataha munehe mananaशीलस्य atmaswarupam katham sambhavati. How does such a person, how does the mind of such a person function, or how does this visionary Muni, who is continuously focused on the self, who is continuously seeing the oneness in spite of all the manyness, how is he in life? That is being told now, and the 15th verse continues. Yathodakam shuddhe shuddham आसिक्तं तादृगेव भवति आसिक्तं तादृगेव भवति एवं मुनेर्विजानत एवं मुनेर्विजानत आत्मा भवति गौतमा आत्मा भवति गौतमा टुगेदर यथोदकं शुद्धे शुद्धम आसिक्तं तद् तादृगेव भवति एवं मुनेर्विजानत आत्मा भवति गौतमा. So how is such a person's mind? How is this visionary person's whose mind is what? Vishuddha, Vijnana, Ghana, Ekarasa, Rasam, Advayam, Atmanam. How is such a person's mind? Here it is told, just as the pure water poured into pure water, how is it? It will remain pure. Similarly, this visionary sage, in his mind, is that in our mind also continuously thoughts are coming. Of what? Of the world. Of what? Of the differences. But what is his difference? Here, what did I say before? Who is seeing oneness in spite of manyness. So where is he sitting? He is seeing the pure conscious, pure water getting poured into pure water. Meaning, all the thoughts of the world are also pure. The container called the mind is also pure consciousness. And the pure thoughts of the world are coming into the pure container, and which is nothing but full of water. And thus, only purity is left. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate. So when pure water is poured into pure water, what remains is pure water. What are we doing? Differences getting poured into the mind, and the mind thinking that these differences are a problem, these differences are impediment, these differences are stopping me from realizing myself. And the other part of the mind, I want to know myself, I want to know myself, I want to be myself. Continuously this dialogue is going on. On one hand, you are trying to sort out the world that is entering because you have not assessed the world to be nothing but divine. You are considering yourself to be divine, no doubt. But what about the world? How long are you going to keep running away from it? You come to know you are the consciousness, Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Individual recognizing that he is the Atma. And what is the other? This Atma alone is everything. After coming out of Samadhi, no differences are left. Self playing with the self. This is called Anvaya. First you withdrew, now you expand. Withdrew where? Did you withdraw into a nothingness? Did you withdraw into some unhealthy conclusion? Then differences will continue when you open your eyes. But if you withdrew, as the scriptures tell you, because they will not leave any stone unturned, They will answer all your doubts. They will pacify the mind, re educate the mind systematically. So, if the mind has come to the conscious self, as it was told in that introductory verses just now, what we read, then when such a person opens the mouth, opens the eye, comes out of samadhi, he's still inside in the samadhi also he was with the self. When the faculties become awake, he's still with the self. So what has happened? The upadhis, unmanifested upadhis, manifested. The upadhis, meaning the modifications. What are the modifications? The panchakoshas, the five sheaths. What did they do? They became activated, they became unactivated. Because the modifications are getting activated and unactivated, I am not disturbed by that. The consciousness remains the same. This is one way of looking at it. So when he says, evam munehe vijanatah atma bhavati gautama, O Gautam, Gautam is our Nachiketa, O Nachiket, such a muni, such a sage, he, his Atman, uh, uh, he, just as water poured into pure water remains as pure water, so also when the Atma which is getting poured, which is ever pure, the thought of the Atma, when it is continuously thought about by the conditioned consciousness called the mind, but actually it is what? It is nothing but the pure consciousness. So continuously thinking in this interaction is going on, and what remains is nothing but the pure Atma. He is continuously, in spite of the differences, slowly transcending all the differences, and eventually all that remains is pure consciousness. So mind, wow. Mind is what? Nothing but consciousness. Consciousness is also consciousness. So what is the difference between consciousness and mind? Nothing. It's one and the same. What is the difference between the ocean and the wave? Nothing. Both are water. Both are water. But do you consider your mind to be pure? Do you understand that your mind is nothing but consciousness in which, because of your obsession, this is the phenomena, because of the obsession of the names and forms, the thoughts are appearing in the mind. But do you accept that your mind is ever pure, untouched by the stimuli that are coming? This example we took many verses ago. The vision is uncorrupted by the colors and forms that it illuminates. So also all other senses. Similarly, mind is uncorrupted. It cannot be corrupted by any stimuli. meaning any thought. Let it be a seeing thought, hearing thought, smelling thought, any thought. Mind is not corrupted, mind is not influenced, mind remains the same. It's a container. Aao, jao. Come and go. Who? The thoughts. So recognize the mind for what it is. No, but my mind, who is this speaking? My mind is disturbed, my mind is irritated. Who is this? I. So your idea, your assessment of the I that you are is wrong then. If mind is undisturbed by any thought coming and going, which you are observing, then I is also thought. I am disturbed, but that I am disturbed is also a thought. It came and went away. Why do you get influenced? The thought came, thought went. In spite of talking, in spite of listening, this requires one is proper assessment of the world and vairagya towards it, and the other is you require discrimination between the constant and the changing. If the discrimination is not going on continuously, suddenly we are thrown in a tiffy. We just get carried away by something. यथोदकं शुद्धे प्रसन्ने शुद्धं प्रसन्नम आसिक्तं प्रक्षिप्तम एकरसमेव न अन्यथा तादृगेव भवति आत्मा अपि एवमेव भवति एकत्वं विजानतः मुनेः मननशीलस्य हे गौतम. Just as yathodakam shuddhe prasanne shuddham prasannam asiktam, just as a pure water is poured into a pure water, and when the pure water which is poured into the pure water, when both the waters mix together, then there is no difference between the one which is poured and the one which is receiving. Both become one. There is no qualitative difference. So that word, that there is no difference left between the two, because the quality of the water that was poured is pure, and the water into which it was poured, that is also pure, means without blemishes, without any variety, without any dirt. It is called that oneness of being of both together is called as ekarasa. Ekarasam eva na anyatha tadrugev bhavati atma. Ekarasa. So whatever was its state before being poured or before being poured into, both the waters were separate, both the waters were pure, And even after they are poured into each other, they continue to maintain the same disposition. And what is that disposition? Purity. In the same way, O Gautama, in the same way, O Nachiket, the mananashilasya, the wise man's mind, or wise man's atma, what is it? Hey Gautama, tasmat कुतार्किक भेद दृष्टिम न आस्तिक कुदृष्टिम चोत झित्वा मातृपितृ सहस्रेम्यः अपि हितैषिणा वेदेन उपदिष्टम आत्मैकत्व दर्शनम शांतदर्पैः आदरणीयम इति अर्थः. So the just as the water, pure water poured into pure water remains as pure water, similarly the atma of the wise person also remains pure and becomes purified. Therefore so one must be very careful. Here caution is given. Tasmat kutarkika bheda drishtim. Kutarkika, argument contrary to given in the scriptures. What are the scriptures? Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, and Brahma Sutras. We must not accept arguments because we have a freewheeling mind. I can think the way I want. Go, dig your own grave. Then how should we think? Only according to the scriptures. Kutarkika bheda drishtim. So this is the, so we must not accept the variety. In Vedanta there is no acceptance of variety. We talk of variety, but we say all the variety, just as all the variety of the waves are in the ocean. Similarly, all the variety of beings are in the Virata Purusha. At our level, all the variety of beings are only in the mind. Example, dream. So also is true in the waking. Now, instead of accepting this statement as the truth of the Upanishads, because they are declaring it, we have studied in this Upanishad, finding arguments contrary to this conclusion is kutarka, wrong argument, wrong logic. And then what it leads to? Frustration, depression. Nastika drishti. So first was kutarkika bheda drishti, and the second is nastika kudrishti. Nastika means non-acceptance of such reality. Non-acceptance that I am real, that I am the truth, that this consciousness that I am in essence is the infinite consciousness. in which variety is only imagined, not accepting that. So you don't accept the Atma as the infinite or the universal self. So first you argued wrongly, and secondly, you don't accept the Atma as the infinite or the universal self. So that is why Shankaracharya in his Bhashya, we have seen it many times, even Jnaneshwar Maharaj is doing the same. Next Sunday class we'll see it, or we have seen it already. What does he do? All the other philosophies, he does khandan. Charvak philosophy, Nyaya, logic of the logicians, of the Vyomavad, of the nihilists. Nihilists are Nastic. They don't accept what? They don't accept that Atma is the universal Atma. Vedanta begins with this premise that there is only one self. This is the basic premise. What about the variety? Only imagined. How? Then it gives you arguments like the dream, etc. So, Nastika kudrishtim cha ijhitva matrupitru. So, one must, here a caution is given that don't get into wrong arguments. Therefore, don't get into wrong arguments which are contrary to the arguments given in the scriptures, the way they are guiding our intellect to think. You contemplate in that direction. Don't become a Robin Hood in thinking. And the second is giving up of Nastika drishti, kudrishti, giving up the non-acceptance of the self as the infinite consciousness, not having faith. If scriptures are roaring away and we are roaring away, what? Nay, I don't believe what you are saying. Till I don't experience it, till I don't see it, till I don't have my own experience, I will not accept it. But yeah, until you don't accept it, you cannot have the darshan. You will not have the experience. And when you have the experience, you will not be left behind to say that I had the experience. Now what are you going to do? No, I want to have. If you want the experience and keep thinking till I don't have the experience, I will not believe it. Keep beating against hitting your head against the wall. Next birth is waiting. So it is very important that we follow the scriptural logic rather than our own individual logic. Get out of the way. Allow the scriptures to reprogram you. And the only purpose of scriptures is to make the seeker be the infinite one. They even have this much magnanimity to say that once you come to know, forget us. You don't need to pursue us. Scriptures are saying, we cannot come to know the truth, but we'll teach you how to get to the truth, how to be the truth, what techniques are required, what thinking is required, because only you can, because you are conscious. We are not conscious. And still we doubt. The scriptures also, and ourselves also, and the God also. Nastik. च उझित्वा मातृपितृसहस्रेभ्य अपि हितैषिणा वेदेन उपदिष्टम्. Matrupitu if millions and millions of father and mother come together with their love towards their children, more loving and compassionate is the mother Shruti, is the scriptures. Shruti, Upanishads are the Shrutis, Vedas are the Shrutis. Hitaishina is they want our benefit. They don't want anything from us. Who? The scriptures. Hitaishina. They want our benefit. They want us to realize. They are reminding us who we really are. Has a mad dog bitten them to tell us, hey, you are pure consciousness, again and again, in every Upanishad. That you, tattvamasi, tattvamasi. If you don't know, okay, sarvam khalvidam brahma. If that is not enough, I am atma brahma or prajnanam brahma. So many different ways they approach you and tell you you are that. What axe they have to grind? Nothing. What are they going to get? Nothing. Why does mother nourish and take care and have sleepless nights for the child? Is she expecting anything in return from that child? She does it because she loves. She sees the child as an extension of herself. The scriptures also see us as an extension of ourselves, but with life. And scriptures themselves are the breath of the infinite. So millions of parents put together, their love cannot match the love, compassion, and nourishment that the Shrutis, the Vedas, of the Vedas. Hitaishina Vedena Upadishtam. And what are the Vedas teaching? They are teaching Atma Ekatva Darshanam. What are they teaching? Atma, the self, Ekatva, that there are not many Atmas, there is only one Atma. There are not many eyes, there is only one eye. Atma Ekatva Darshanam. And when they are telling us this, that there is only one Atma, even if you are seeing the variety, but accept it is all one. Not all one, it is the one alone. Pure water into pure water. And it says, Shanta Darpaihi, Shanta Darpaihi. Darpa means arrogance, false pride. Shant, quieten that pride, quieten that I am. Quieten that arrogance of individuality. Darpana means mirror. Same word, darpaihi, Shanta Darpaihi. Quieten that reflection. Quieten that reflection. Meaning, don't be arrogant. Don't be a militant. Don't be at war with yourself. Don't be at war. Take it coolly. Adaraniyam iti artaha. And respect the scriptures for what they are. Without this respect and reverence, whether it is towards God, whether it is towards the scriptures, whether it is towards the teacher, whether it is towards the teacher within, whether it is towards the ability to follow the instructions given by the scripture here. In this was the caution that is being meted out by the Upanishad. No, what are they talking about? All this is humbug. Immediate reaction, immediate fighting. Who are the scriptures to tell me that I am arrogant? I am not arrogant. That statement itself is arrogance. I see. So, take a chill pill, cool down, and generate lot of respect and reverence. That will only come by faith. Even if I don't know it, I must respect it. When I'm respecting, revering the scriptures, lot of knots that are still in my thinking, in my mind, they will get undone by the grace of the scriptures. But the grace will only flow if we are respectful and reverentially approaching them. Why should we approach? Shruti Mata is saying, because it has the love and compassion of one scripture, one line, one word of the scriptures, of the Vedas, carries more weight than millions of parents and their love towards their children put together. Matru Pitru Sahasrebhya. It's more potent. Then where will you go? Only me, my father, my mother, my duty towards parents? Your duty towards scriptures is more. And what will scriptures teach you? Your duty towards your own self is paramount. And what is that duty towards the self? To recognize that you are the source. You have never been incomplete. That you have never been born. That you can never die. That there is no variety. Then what is there? Only you are there. So wonderful. Magical, mystical. Which parent has come and told us this about ourselves? Which sibling has come and told us this? Jnaneshwar Maharaj, elder brother, told him. Did our parents tell? They only demand, "Hey, I have served you so much, now you have to serve me." Did they become happy because we went and studied in the ashram? Did they guide us in the right direction? They did the best that they knew at the worldly sense. But no parent, every parent wants other families' children to go to the ashram and serve the society. But when their own child decides, there is a disaster at home. Here we are not even talking about our own children. What about us, ourselves? So this is the vision that has been presented and the caution given. Iti Srimad Paramahamsa Parivrajakacarya Govind Bhagavat Pujya Pada Shishya Srimad Acharya Shri Shankara Bhagavatah Krutau Kathopanishad Bhashye Dvitiyadhyaye Prathamavalli Bhashyam Samaptam. So Prathamavalli concludes with this third chapter, and now the second Valli begins with, and in the second Valli again 3 chapters are there. So first chapter in the second Valli. And in this manner we have seen the Yathodakam Shuddhe Shuddham Asiktam Tadrugeva Bhavati Evam Muner Vijanata Atma Bhavati Gautama. Let's read these 15 verses together. I'll just take it out. Now, fourth part of the. Is that correct? Where are we? पराञ्चिखानि व्यतृणत् स्वयम्भूः तस्मात् परां पश्यति नान्तरात्मन् कश्चिद्धीरप्रत्यगात्मा न मैक्षत आवृतश्चक्षुरमृतत्वमिच्छन्. Next. पराञ्च कामाननुयान्ति बालाः ते मृत्योर्यन्ति विततस्य पाशम् अथ धीरा अमृतत्वं विदित्वा ध्रुवम् अध्रुवेष्विह न परार्थयन्ते. येन रूपं रसं गन्धं शब्दान् स्पर्शांश्च मैथुनान् एतेनैव विजानाति किमत्र परिशिष्यते एतद्वै तत्. This is that. Now all the next few verses, this vision, we are again and again reminded. We'll go through it after we chant. Swapnantam jagarhitantam chobhau yenanupashyati Mahantam vibhumatmanam matva dhiro na shochati. Ya imam madvadam veda atmanam jivamantikat ishanam bhuta bhavyasya na tato vijugupsate etadvai tata. Yah purvam tapaso jatam adbhya purvamajayata गुहां प्रविश्य तिष्ठन्तं यो भूतेभिर्व्यपश्यत एतद्वै तत्. या प्राणेन संभवति अदितिर्देवतामयी गुहां प्रविश्य तिष्ठन्तीं या भूतेभिर्व्यजायत एतद्वै तत्. अरण्योर्निहितो जातवेदा गर्भ इव सुभृतो गर्भिणीभिः दिवे दिवे ईड्यो जागृवद्भिः Havishmadbhir I lost the tune there. अरण्यो अरण्योर्निहितो जातवेदा गर्भ इव सुभृतो गर्भिणीभिः दिवे दिवे ईड्युजागृवद्भिः हविष्मद्भिर्मनुष्येभिरग्निः एतद्वै तत् यतश्चोदेति सूर्यः अस्तं यत्र च गच्छति तं देवा सर्वे अर्पिताः तदुनात्येति कश्चन एतद्वै तत् यदेवेह तदमुत्र यदमुत्र तदन्विह मृत्योस मृत्युमाप्नोति य इह नानेव पश्यति मनसैवेदमाप्तव्यं नेह नास्ति किंचन मृत्योस मृत्युं गच्छति य इह नानेव पश्यति अंगुष्ठमात्र पुरुषो मध्य आत्मनि तिष्ठति ईशानो भूतभव्यस्य न ततो विजुगुप्सते एतद्वै तत् अंगुष्ठमात्र पुरुषो ज्योतिरिवाधूमकः ईशानो भूतभव्यस्य स एवाद्य स उष्वः एतद्वै तत् यथोदकं दुर्गे वृष्टं पर्वतेषु विधावति एवं धर्मान् पृथक् पश्यन् तानेवानुविधावति यथोदकं शुद्धे शुद्धम् आसिक्तं तादृगेव भवति एवं मुनेर्विजानत आत्मा भवति गौतमा इति काठकोपनिषदि द्वितीयाध्याये चतुर्थी वल्ली. So we saw in this part, in the first verse we saw that reality, what is the nature of reality? It is self-existing, and it itself created the senses, and the nature of the senses is to go outwards. Nothing can be done about it. They are like that. What can you do? Why the eyes are seeing, why the eyes are not hearing? You cannot do anything about it. I want to what do you call? I want to taste the food with the ears. Not possible. So he made the senses with the outgoing tendencies, and as a result, the individual self, he keeps being obsessed by the external rather than contemplating on the essence. And then what is the essence of the essence is the Atman, the self. But some wise men, wise people, who are these wise people? Here it says, Kaschid dhira pratyagatmanam aikshata avrita chakshur amrutatvam Kaschid, some rare wise people are there on this planet who, wanting to be immortal, wanting to know the truth, wanting to be the infinite, seeking it, they turn their senses and their mind from their outward tendencies, they turn them inwards. And eventually, as a result of that U-turn in their vision, five senses and the mind, they make the U-turn, and eventually they see the Atma or be established in the Atma. Then in the second verse we saw paracha kamana nuyanti balaha. Then Just as a small child runs after the toys and sim, or runs after the toys, sometimes he gets hurt in because no discrimination. Similarly, we grown-ups and a extroverted person runs after the world and gets entangled in the world and then gets caught up. And what is the rule of the world? The rule of the world is everything that comes into existence must go out of existence. That going out of existence is called death, and eventually finds himself in the snares of death. But अतधीरा अमृतत्वं विदित्वा ध्रुवम अध्रुवेष्विह न प्रार्थयन्ते. But there are wise people who do not desire anything in this world. They have resolved, they have assessed the world, and they have come to the conclusion that nothing in this world is worthy of pursuit. What is not worthy of pursuit? Dry garbage and wet garbage, possessions and relations. This is where man is caught. And having contemplated upon that which is immortal in nature, the self, the consciousness, they come to abide in it. So, in spite of all this variety of the world with all its attractions and distractions and entanglements, in spite of all that, with proper assessment, while living in this world, because they are an individual, but they assessed the world correctly and came to discriminate properly and came to be established in that which is unchanging, which is the constant principle, and became immortal. Then in the third verse, so whatever the yena rupam rasam gandham shabdan sparshanscha maithunan ete naiva vijanati kimatra parishishyate, that because of which all the senses function, without going into detail. Eyes see, ears hear, tongue tastes, nose smells, skin feels, and mind thinks, and intellect ideates. What is that because of which these faculties are able to, these organs are able to function? Eteneva, that principle, if you know, that because of which all these faculties are functioning, all these senses are functioning, if you come to know that, that is worthy of knowing. Etadvaitata. That is that which you are asking. What were you asking? Dharma, adharma. What is that which is beyond dharma, adharma? What is that which is beyond righteousness and unrighteousness? What is that which is beyond past, present, future? What is that which is beyond doing and not doing? Krita kritat. Anyatra dharmat, anyatra dharmat, anyatra asmat, anyatra asmat, krita kritat, krita akruta. Anyatra bhuta bhavyascha. O Lord, show what is that which is beyond all this. Tell me that. So here Bhagavan, Lord is telling, etadvaitata. That is that constant one. That because of which the senses are functioning, the mind is functioning. Recognize that as the answer. Then in the fourth verse he said, Swapnantam jagaritantam chaubhau yenanupashyati mahantam vibhum atmanam matva dhiro na shochati. What is that? What is that? That is that because of who knows the coming and going of the dream, the coming and going of the waking, the coming and going of the sleep, that fellow. That that is the truth that you should be contemplating. And knowing that Mahantam Vibhum Atmanam, knowing that who knows the coming and going of the three states, he and recognizing that to be the greatest Mahantam Vibhum, all pervasive, and knowing that the greater than the greatest and all pervasive principle is the consciousness, the Atmanam, the wise man grieves not. In the fifth verse, Ya imam madvadam veda atmanam jivamantikat ishanam bhuta bhavyasya nadato vijugupsate etad vaitata. That same, he who knows this Atman, Ya imam madvadam veda, atmanam jivamantikat. He who knows this Atma, who is this Atma? He is the Madhvadam Veda. It is the enjoyer of the nectar, and Atmanam Jivamantikat, and he is the essence of life. And then what a Ishanam Bhuta Bhavyasa. He is the Lord of the past and future, meaning present also. Natato Vijugupsate. And such a person who knows this to be that, etadvaitata, he does not fear anything in this life. Continuing, Yapurvam tapaso jatam adbhya purvam ajayata guham pravishya tishtantam yo bhute bhirvyapashyata etadvaitata. He says, that reality, that one without a second, whom we have been talking till now, he alone manifested as the manyness. How he manifested it as the manyness? As the tapasya of the Brahmaji, and so he was born as from the tapasya of the Brahmaji, and in the beginning, and born prior, and he was before the five elements. Before the space, air, fire, water, earth came into existence, he was before them also, and he was even before the creator, maintainer, and the destroyer. He was even before them. And then where do you find him? Guham pravishya tishtantam yo bhuter bhivyapashyata. And he is transcendental to all of them, just like what ocean is transcendental to all the waves. But where do you find the ocean? In the heart of every wave. In the heart of every wave. So where is this divine principle, the divine self? He is in the cave of the heart of every person, of every person. Here it is said, in the cave of the heart of every element, every sentient and insentient in this world. And therefore, he who sees it like in this manner, he alone sees. Then, ya pranena sambhavati aditir devatamai guham pravishya tishtantim ya bhutebhir vyajayata etadvaitata. That Hiranyagarbha, that first cause. uh, and what is this first cause? That first cause is what is everything. Here we are talking about the Hiranyagarbha. That Hiranyagarbha, don't imagine totality versus individuality. In Hiranyagarbha, there is no totality versus individuality. Hiranyagarbha is complete. What is Hiranyagarbha? In which all the possibilities are existing in nascent form. They have not manifested yet. So that Hiranyagarbha, or as the prana, having entered and existing as the soul within the body, so that infinite reality alone is in the heart of the five great elements, according to the previous verse, is the essence of the five great elements. Those five great elements have gone to make this body, and the essence of this body is the same reality, the same self. Without that, the faculties here in this body cannot function. And when your attention is on that conscious principle, recognize that this as that. Aranyornihito jata veda garbha eva sambruto garbhinibhihi dive dive idyo jagruvadbhihi havish madbhir manushyebhiragnihi. And etad vaitata, in the 8th verse he says that as just as the fetus is preserved in the womb of the mother, similarly the divine fire, which is Aranyor nihito jata veda. Similarly, that reality is within the two pieces of wood, and people, either through karma means where there is friction. So invocation of fire, invocation of heat, invocation of sweat only happens where there is friction. So fire used to, many people, even in Aborigines, they respect the fire. The fire is always lighted. In our temples, there is always a lamp. Even in all the tribal communities, how do they rub the two sticks together, or they have the one bowl, and they rotate the cylindrical stick between two cups of wooden cups, and then when the heat is generated, they put the cotton wool or dry grass, and that is the purest fire. That is the purest fire. Not matchstick is not pure fire. Candle light is not pure fire. Pure fire is this, where you create the friction between the two sticks, or even two stones, it is said, and then the fire is created. And similarly, is worshipped by awakened men and by the sacrificial of. So those who are body oriented, they do the duties, that is the fire of doing their duties, the purity is created, the fire burns away all their impurities. Those who are mind oriented, they contemplate on the divine, and by contemplate, world is pulling them to itself, and they are pulling their mind towards or surrendering it to the Lord. This friction of the world and the divine is the friction, and if we maintain the attention towards the divine Lord, then the purity comes about, and eventually we abide. And exactly the same way, those people who are involved in Gyan Marg, in the Gyan Marg also, there are many doubts, there are many ways one can get derailed from the path, from the essence. So you keep maintaining the focus, the attention on the self. in spite of all the words, in spite of all the hearing, in spite of all the scriptures, in spite of all the involvement in the world. Don't create an artificial situation in your life in order to seek the truth. Let it all happen naturally, sahaj, without any friction. This you cannot tell a karma yogi. This you cannot tell a devotion personal. Here we are at the path of knowledge. Here we are saying you are already that which you are seeking. You cannot tell a karma yogi that you are, he'll put you on the cross. You cannot tell a devotee. He will say it is blasphemy. Only these words are used that you are that which you are seeking. This can be only told to a purified intellect, a focused intellect, which is not getting entangled in the thoughts of doubt. Doubt come because of because of too much focus on the world, too much focus on the future or past regrets or etc. And in this way, here it is said that the wise men worship this fire. There, today I am telling you in a different manner, but when we talked about it, we talked about the kundalini, we talked about the fire going, devouring everything and increasing itself more and more. Similarly, this fire of consciousness, this light of consciousness, the more you think about it, the more it will devour everything. And eventually, you are no longer left as an individual. You are as an individual only because you think, therefore you are. When this devouring takes place, you are in spite of everything has been devoured. That disposition comes about. Yataschodeti suryo astam yatra च गच्छति tam deva sarve arpitaha tadunatyeti kaschana etadvaitata. And it is that essence, it is that reality, it is that which is beyond the dharma dharma. What is that? From which the sun rises and into which yataschodeti surya astam yatra cha gacchati. It rises from that reality, it sets back into that reality. Just as waking world and the waking experience rises from the consciousness and it merges back into the consciousness. Then the dream world and the dream instrument, it rises from the consciousness, it merges back into the consciousness. Recognize Surya, the light. And this is happening every moment, not only a special event. Tam deva sarve arpitaha tadunatyeti kaschana. And it says, and even the gods, whether you call them as 33 gods or 33 million gods, how does it matter? All productive potentials depend on that one essence, that one reality alone. All the gods, the forces which are the principles which are governing this whole creation, they cannot exist without that reality. Just as none of the faculties, and this is the beauty of our Upanishads, that all the general principles of this universe, called the productive potentials, call it Indra, call it Marut, call it Nakshatra, call it Graha, all of them have been represented in this body only. The sun, the moon, the Ashwini Kumars, the space, and the Vishnu is the feet, the hands is the Indra, the Shiva is the heart, and it goes on. All they are devatas. Whom are they? Because of that essence. What is that essence? That which does not come and go. Who are these? They come and go. What do you mean that Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh also come and go? Yes. There are multiple universes, and every universe has its own Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. Every universe has its own Indra. Are you making it up? Read Bhagavatam. And in this way, this is that, indeed that, etad vaitata. What's the time? Quickly we'll conclude. Yadeveha tadamutra yadamutra tadanviha mrityo samrityum apnoti ya iha naneva pashyati. So what is visible, what is manifest, and what is unmanifest? Everything is that reality alone. And what is what is there and what is here? There means that which is far away, outside, and here means that which is inside. Is one and the same thing. What is outside? The water. What is inside? Water for a wave. So exactly the same. Similarly, outside is also, don't get obsessed by name and form. What is outside? Expression of the reality in that manner. And what is inside? Also the same. No, but how can the name and form be the reality? For that you have to change your vision. With the present vision, you cannot see it. With the present vision, I cannot read anything. I have to fix my vision. Now I can see. I can read. So you fix your vision. How do you fix your vision? Contemplate in this manner. Accept the scriptures with respect and reverence. That will come afterwards. But here he is giving you. And if someone does not see the inside and outside as the same, such a person goes from death to death. Ya ihananeva pashyati, the one who doesn't see it in this manner, he keeps maintaining the differences. Such a person goes from death to death. This is the diktat of the Lord of Death himself. He's giving the secret, how you escape death, how you transcend death, how you remain unaffected by death. Now, who is going to tell you this? Your parents, your bosses, your children, or your parents? Only scriptures have the authority. They have the daring to tell you that you are the indestructible one, that you are the infinite one. Manasaivedam aptavyam neha nanasti kinchana mrityo samrityum gachati ya iha naneva pashyati. And here it is told, manaseva vedam aptavyam. The only tool that you have available is the mind. How do you employ this mind? Either you employ it in the world, or you employ this mind to contemplate on the truth. Either you make this mind multi-pointed, or you make this mind single-pointed towards the self. Either you make this mind inattentive of the conscious principle, or you make it attentive of the conscious principle. That's all the difference. If you don't bring it to the constant principle, such a person goes from death to death again and again. Angushtamatra purushaha madhya atmani tishtati ishano bhuta bhavyasya na tato vijugupsate etadvaitata. And this reality, if some people think that it cannot be, no, you need some location, because we are saying it is everywhere, inside, outside. How do I focus on it? I need something, some support. Okay, you think of it as the thumb-sized space within your heart, something like that. Angushta matra purusha madhya atmani tishtati. In the center of this body, it is located. You find out that center. Don't look for the center in the knee. You won't find it. It's not the center. You find out where and here the center that is told by the masters is the three centers. Either it is the heart chakra, or it is the Vishuddhi chakra, or it is the Agya Chakra. In any of these three centers, you can focus and the journey will begin. But if you focus on the Manipur, the Swadhisthana, or the Mooladhar, uh, you can become focused, but that focus will take you in a different direction. It will not take you to the higher. And therefore, here it is told that when and by focusing on these three chakras, these three centers, the heart, the solar plexus, the Kanthakoop, the hollow of your throat, or the third eye, one transcends everything, one comes to abide, and thereafter, na tato vijugupsate, he becomes fearless as there is nothing. He becomes one with all that there is, and therefore there is no sense of otherness, so no fear. Yathodakam durge, is that correct? Angushtamatra purusho ज्योतिरिवा धूमकः ईशानो भूत भव्यस्य स एवाद्य स उष्वः एतद्वैतत. This person, this reality is like a flame, and what is it's like a flameless light of a lamp, and it is the Lord of the past and the future. Ishano bhuta bhavyasa sa evadya sa ushvaha. This 3-4 times it has come, Ishano bhuta bhavyasa, that it is the Lord of the past and future. And where do we get stuck in our life? Only in the past and only in the future. We are worried, we have regrets, we want to relive the memories of the past. We want to open our albums and videos and keep reveling and indulging in reinforcing the memories of the past. Or we continuously worry about the future. Get out of, you are the Lord of the both. Let them come, let them go. How does it matter? You are the master of the past and future. This is told again and again. And one who knows this is that reality. Yathodakam durge vrishtam parvateshu vidhavati evam dharman pradak pashyan tane vanu vidhavati. This verse we already saw it today. Just as water running down the mountain ridges runs down in different streams along from the mountain, so also the one who beholds the consciousness as different consciousnesses, as different individual selves, he scatters himself. So both ways you can look at it. One is, if your attention is on the variety, you become obsessed with the variety. But what is the truth? It is the one water which alone is becoming the many. Similarity is the one consciousness which alone is becoming the many. This was the first metaphor given, and the second metaphor, yathodakam shuddhe shuddham asiktam tadrugeva bhavati evam muner vijanata atma bhavati gautama. And the second metaphor that was given was that just as pure water is poured into pure water, all that remains is pure water thereafter. Similarly, when the one who knows the unity of the self, in spite of the variety, he alone, he who knows the unity of the individual self and the infinite self. Infinite self, the one which is beyond the waking dream and deep sleep state. Individual self, the one who is thinking in this waking that I am the waker. So the individual mind, in which the individuality is there, that mind comes to realize it is of the nature of infinite, the all-pervasiveness. And in this way, evam muner vijanata atma bhavati gautama. And when you think in this way, as the wise sages think, only purity remains. Pure water with pure water remains as pure water. You are interacting, you cannot stop it, but see it as the pure water inside, pure water in the mind, pure water outside. Everything is only purity. Everything is nothing but that one reality playing with itself. That is the vision that is presented in this chapter. And with this, we conclude this chapter. Next week, we'll start the next one. That the topic of uh, uh, the vision of the inner self, in spite of the no, sorry, next chapter is, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong, okay, whenever. What is in this chapter we saw the difficulties that come along in our journey when we are seeking, and how the various examples were given, how we can transcend, how we can turn our mind away from the obstacles, the various obstacles in various verses through the various examples were given, and a wholesome uh, and the constant vision was presented. When focused on that, we transcend all the variety. Enough of words. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Sit quietly for a moment. Hari Om.